If you've been waiting for a sign, maybe a permission slip to express your multi-dimensional self, express light codes, light language, whatever words you might bring to those expressions, and you're hiding it, keeping it contained, well, this is the sign that says, hey, it's time to allow yourself to express and be free in your true essence, and opening yourself to multidimensional expressions, maybe your natural innate part of your beingness and a part of your soul's mission in this life. So why wait? Why hide? Well, that question you do need to be asking yourself. So my name is Georgia, and I'm here to support others expressing their true nature, be it song, light codes, energy. And this message is coming through because I understand, I know what that's like to hold back. And there are many reasons why we might want to hold back. You know, many of us hold persecution wounds from other lifetimes, and we actually experience this in this lifetime as well. Maybe on a much smaller scale, we're not necessarily being burnt at the stake this time and tortured as we may have been in these other lifetimes, but those resonances and that residue can sometimes walk with us in this life. And it may look like people calling us out on social media if we try and post something and we feel embarrassed. It could be our friends and our family rejecting us and thinking that we're weird in the way that we're behaving. You know, you could just be out in the park and someone approach you and make judgments at you. You know, all these things can come up and make us retract from that self-expression because it is unusual. Not many people have been doing this. We can look at this in maybe certain parts of culture around the world. There's certain types of Christian cultures that speak in tongues. We have ancient languages that hold lots of power and resonance behind them, that are spoken with more vibration than actual language. But even those have been very created with more of a linear approach than our own like English language, for instance, or some other languages out there that are still quite linear and maybe one-dimensional. And then we have some ancient languages that maybe have a more multi-dimensional meaning behind them, but yet we still try and tangibly say this is what they mean, right? Whereas light language, or as I call it, the codes of creation, vibrational sound medicine, these vibrations are maybe sounding like a language and have a dialect, and they may have sometimes a meaning behind them, but they are very multi-dimensional, and they're actually working more on a cellular level and geometric frequencies that they're creating and emitting through the sound, which is having an impact on the vibration and resonance of our physicality, be it our body or the surroundings. And when we feel that we start to open up to this, there can also be retraction within ourselves and also that around us. I have faced so many initiations where I have been met with literal psychic attacking. I have been met with even jealousy in the communities as well. So as well as those rejecting it because they maybe fear it, not understand it, maybe it's cringy because people are acting in a way that is not normal. You know, I quote unquote these because there is such a diversity really within all of us. It's kind of bizarre that we even try and condition something into normal and not normal. And we do this to rationalize, we do this to protect ourselves. Most people are just trying to protect themselves because of even their own subconscious conditioning to be liked, to be wanted, to be accepted in society. If we do anything that seems out of the norm, then we could be disliked, we could be then disowned, we could be rejected and isolated, which is a very tribal, actually primal, instinct, right? And so I just want to remind you that to move past these more survival instincts and into the instincts of intuitive living and self-expression, we sometimes need to move past that resistance and reminding ourselves. And this is about taking baby steps here, because we also don't want to trigger our nervous system when this is happening. Yeah, we want to go through the different steps to move through that difficulty, those challenges. So this is another layer that I have seen in my life, where I have gone through these initiations of boldly stepping out through those discomforts and into doing things that would deem less accepting in society and more of a self-expression through my soul. And this has led to my nervous system sometimes being actually frazzled. So while I was trying to do a service to myself in moving forward in self-expression, I was also expressing through my nervous system the difficulties that it was presenting. It was presenting fear, was still living there, and unsafety was still living there, what for self-expression. So finding that tune balance with allowing yourself to express yourself, little steps at a time, bringing yourself forward, but without feeling like you're taking yourself into fight, flight, or freeze in any way. How can we find that balance, right? We can take these little steps, be it just having a regular daily practice where we get to tune in and have some time that we dedicate to ourselves to have that self-expression. When we feel maybe most comfortable, we may start to do some sounding out in public. Maybe we want to draw a piece of art and share it with someone that we know, and just allowing those little steps to bring us out into our self-expression without pushing ourselves too far. Because it is a journey. When we have been for years and years and years held back so much by society's belief over what is normal, then we need to take our time to unravel that. And the more that we unravel that, the more that these soul expressions are able to come through you with ease, with grace, and without the lash back. Yeah, because if we have been holding certain belief systems, they will be met into our reality through it, be our own physicality, having symptoms. So I've had symptoms of self-expression lashback where my nervous system couldn't handle it, and so I was having physical symptoms of that. And then there is also the outside expression of people judging or people condemning, of this expression, and even wanting to take this expression. So we went into the sense of jealousy as well, because there are others who also want to express that, but they are still feeling they're living from their small self. And when they see that from you, because maybe you still presenting a little bit of insecurities, they can take you from that. When we come in with such reassurance, such safety in our own nervous system, then it's a lot harder for other people to try and take us down. They're unable to do that because we don't have that insecurity within ourselves. We don't have that doubt within ourselves. So when they try and come in and give you the doubt, the insecurities, then they're at fault. And it just reflects on them and illuminates that internal dissonance within themselves. So if this is you and you have been calling in for this, I invite you to practice these steps, and I will see you in the next video.